right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of the Teacup for One Oscar movie marathon. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and we're back for yet another season of watching our way through some of the movies that are in contention for the biggest film ceremony of the year. So last week we got together and we we talked about Avatar: The Way of Water. This week we are back to discuss The Fabelmans, a love letter to one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, John Ford, apparently. So there it is. So super excited to discuss this movie with lots of familiar faces. Let's bring them in. Actually, first, let's see who we have here in the chat. Let's see. A.G. Kemper, you watched a movie for the first time last night, enjoyed it. Wonderful. Excited to hear your thoughts. Let's bring in some of our other friends who watched the movie. First up, who's it gonna be? It's Lauren, everybody. Lauren, welcome back.
I'm here.
I'm so excited to have you back for Oscar Movie Marathon Month. Thrilled.
Yes, I'm so excited, and I'm so excited. This is the first time I've seen all of the movies in advance.
That's amazing. Have you seen all 10 of the Best Picture nominees now?
No. I still need to see All Quiet on the Western Front, which I've seen the original. What else do I need to see? Tar, I need to see that. And something about women.
Oh, Women Talking?
Yeah.
Sarah Polley. It's directed by a Canadian. We love to see it.
Oh, really? Yeah. So I definitely want to watch them, but I just managed to watch the ones that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, exciting. Oh, Bob Hunt is here. Bob sending his greetings. Hello, Bob.
Yes, great to see you too in the chat.
Brilliant. You know which movie I think I want to add to the lineup? I want to add To Leslie because of all of the hoopla that's been surrounding that movie. Have you been keeping up with it, Lauren?
Which one?
To Leslie.
Oh, I heard about that one too. And there was because Mary McCormick started some kind of campaign, and then the Oscars is like, let's investigate how we
basically the Oscars were angry that a low profile movie got a Best Actress nomination because she campaigned using social media, evidently, and she got her influencer celebrity friends to just push people to vote for her by saying, oh yeah, it was a really good movie, you probably just didn't see it, but trust us, it was good. And and now it just, I think, called into question a lot of the politics around the Oscars. About, what happens when something happens that's not supposed to happen. There it is. But yeah, I want to watch it now. I want to see if she's Best Actress worthy over, I don't know who she beat out, but
I think it was Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Warrior Queen.
Yeah, Viola Davis was, I think she would. Well, I don't know if she was a sure thing, but I think she was definitely on a lot of people's radar. I didn't see that movie either. I usually wait for award season.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I did see The Whale.
I need to see The Whale,
but it's so good, The Whale.
Yeah, I just have this thing. Darren Aronofsky movies always make me very uncomfortable. And
this movie will make you feel very uncomfortable as well. Exactly. But Brendan Fraser, if he doesn't win the Oscar, I know that Austin Butler is
it's probably gonna be Austin, but yeah.
But Brendan Fraser definitely deserves to win the Oscar if he does. It's a definite. God, crazy.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I think Austin will win because I think Austin gave one of those once in a lifetime performances, but I think Brendan is more likely to win for something else in the future. Whereas I don't see Austin Butler winning again because now he's just Elvis. He made the one movie. Now he's forever Elvis.
Yeah, I can't wait for our prediction show.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. Oh, Martha's here. Woo!
Martha!
Welcome.
Yay!
What's this? The writer of Women Talkies from my hometown here in Manitoba. That's exciting. I didn't realize that. Wait, is that Sarah Pauly? Did she also write it? I know she directed it. But yeah, anytime Canada gets something at the Oscars, it makes me happy. Anyway, speaking of Canadians, let's bring in our next guest. Look, it's Alex, everybody.
Oh, hello. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, finally. I've heard so much. We keep missing each other.
I know.
Yeah. No. Hey, I'm down. I'm down to be talking about this movie.
That's good.
I told somebody else this earlier, but I typically like to, for these shows, I like to watch films at least twice, so that once that the like moments of the movie stay in my head, because my memory tends to fail me when I want to remember what the experience was like. And two, I also like to watch the movie once just sort of casually and to enjoy it, and I also like to watch it another time while actively taking notes. Again, to just have to if I have a thought or an impression, to kind of clearly articulate it.
So did you see it a second time? Did you go twice?
No. So the whole point is that it'll be a testament to my ability to recall the film. I did not today, but a few days ago I watched the trailer of the movie in order to jog my memory of what happened in the movie. Yeah. So anyway.
I'm excited to see how good your memory is. That'll be a thing. Yeah. So, I forgot to ask Lauren this. So, opening question, Lauren, favorite Spielberg movie?
Oh gosh, that's so hard. I think it's gonna be cheesy, but I think it's E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Good.
Phone home.
Love it.
I was going the wrong direction.
Alex, favorite Spielberg movie?
Oh, I'm looking it up now. See. I don't have a top of my head. I don't tend to associate directors with. I mean, again, with certain exceptions, I just tend to. I can think of movies.
Put away the list of Spielberg's filmography, because that might come back later.
Okay. Off the top of my head, from what I saw, Indiana Jones: The Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wait. Yeah.
Or Last Crusade. Which one?
Wait, was Jurassic Park? Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is him. Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Okay, good choice.
Probably not.
I think E.T. is his strongest movie, but I don't know if it's my favorite. Let me see. Spielberg.
How come you get to look it up?
Because I have all the answers for the quiz. Maybe West Side Story. I mean, it's so new, though.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Yoda for Mark has the answer. Obviously, the BFG. Obviously.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
The big frickin' giant. Lauren, it's so bad. It's terrible.
I still need to see it, though.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. It's a movie that exists.
I just see images from it, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look good.
The CGI is just strange.
Yeah.
In an uncanny valley kind of way. This source material, because we watched it when we did Roald Dahl Month last year. The source material is, in my opinion, maybe one of the weaker of the Roald Dahl novels to begin with, because there's not much to it. It's just child befriends a giant, and then when you dig into it a little bit, there's a lot of pro-colonialism messaging where it's let's get the queen to take over the island of the giants in the name of England. Okay, so there it is. But
speaking of Roald Dahl, I have to ask you, what did you think of the Matilda the musical movie?
I went in not expecting to like it, and it won me over. I think the material is better on stage than it is in a movie, but I think it's as good a film adaptation of that material as it can be.
Yeah.
And I think it's so drastically different from the original film, which I love with all my heart, which I think is great because they shift the focus in ways that serve a new adaptation really nicely. The focus on Miss Honey, I adore. I also just like seeing it set in England versus seeing it set in America, because I think it's fascinating to see how the culture affects the story. So overall, I love it. I miss Miracle being sung properly and not little kids who can't sing. But that's a personal preference thing.
Really?
Yeah. Just because Miracle on stage is phenomenal. But yeah, Alex, did you see Matilda the movie musical?
I saw the original Matilda or whatever, the original movie, but where's the new one?
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
It's a movie that exists. Yeah. I'd say you should see it, but there's other movies you have to watch first for Oscar month. Anyway, let's bring in our final guest for the evening. It's Jeanette, everybody.
Yay!
I still look blue, and I changed my lights. I swear I did. They're yellow.
I can see it. I can see it. No, it looks yellow. I can see some warmth. It's good. It's all good.
Anyway,
it's not Avatar week.
No, it's not.
It's not Avatar. No, now we have Jurassic Park and ET. So we're switching it out.
I was trying to figure out who the Funkos were. I thought that was Walt Disney on the far left.
Oh, that's Chris Pratt. I'm sorry. Owen Grady.
Walt Disney and Chris Pratt. It's all the
It's
same.
just Chris Pratt. They're all Chris Pratt.
Let's see. Oh, we got another one for Raiders right here.
Oh, I love your spelling of Nazis.
Nazis.
Really fantastic.
That's
really fantastic. I'm stealing that, by the way.
A lot of love for E.T.
So my favorite Spielberg movie, since Alex took my true, and really what is everybody's true favorite Steven Spielberg movie is Jurassic Park. But if I could say who ties for my second, I was going to say Catch Me If You Can and The Terminal.
Yes.
Because The Terminal is really like my spirit animal movie. I love that movie so much, but I forgot he did Hook. And so that that weasels its way in there. But I would say it's probably The Terminal is like my second favorite.
I forgot that was a Spielberg movie until I was researching for our quiz today.
Adore that movie so much. I do love Catch Me If You Can as well.
Yeah,
me too.
But I figure that's not an original story, whereas The Terminal is probably.
That's true.
I love that story. It's the best.
Yeah, I want to revisit The Terminal now, knowing that it's a Spielberg movie, because I'm interested when he does small scale movies, like where it's just people in. It's
one of my favorite Hanks roles too, and I think that I reference it a lot, and nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. I say "eat to bite, bite to eat" like all the time. Nobody knows.
I remember very few things about it. I remember the basic premise. I remember him trying to make a beautiful fountain for Catherine Zeta-Jones, and it doesn't work, and it's tragic. And then at the end, she gets him a Visa, which I didn't realize was not a credit card as a teenager.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that I don't know that whole thing. That and the acting in that movie, Stanley Tucci in that movie can just.
Tucci's in that. Is he an airport person?
He's yeah.
I love Tucci. I want Tucci to get an Oscar. Yeah. Give Stanley an Oscar.
And Zoe Saldana, my girl, Zoe Saldana is in that. And she plays a Trekkie. Like I couldn't be any more attracted to her to begin with. I'm like,
you do love. I think that might be the first movie I ever saw her in, or maybe Pirates. It would have been one of the two.
It's what? Yeah. It's an earlier one for sure. But that's I will go with that since Jurassic Park was already mentioned.
Good choice. All right. Well, here we are to discuss the latest Spielberg movie. The Fabelmans is interesting because it's very obviously his heart just being poured out into a movie, and all the interviews and the acceptance speeches. Well, the acceptance speech that he gave at the Golden Globes, he was just saying that this is the movie he's wanted to make his whole career. And he just hit a point, I think, during the lockdowns where he figured, I have to do it now. And so he did it. And it's a movie. I don't know if I like it. I can tell it's a good movie. I can tell definitely it's a good movie. There are things that I like about it, but I also question why it needs to exist. It's also interesting to me watching this movie and comparing it to the lineup of Oscar nominations last year, because I think it almost starts to feel like there are archetype films that get nominated every year, and there are equivalents to them. Like, I think this year Banshees is equivalent to Power of the Dog, even though I loved Banshees of Inisherin. But I think there are similarities, like I've said before, about how it just people talking, essentially, not a lot happens, and it gets the most acting nominations. Yes, lots of landscapes.
Yeah, but I would almost venture to say, as far as the the overall feeling. I think it's funny that because you had told me that,
Mhm.
and I'm halfway through Banshees, but obviously I had to finish Fabelmans. So I finished Fabelmans, and I almost just as far as like it gets a little droll at times. Like I would say I would mirror the likenesses there on it a little bit more.
Oh, I can
Banshees
see
is
that.
pretty funny.
Banshees is
Like,
hilarious. I can't wait to talk
very
about Banshees.
entertaining. Yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't like it no more. But it's so quotable. No, but I was gonna say Fablemans to me in a lot of ways feels like Licorice Pizza from last year because it's just a
I
biopic.
loved Licorice Pizza. Oh my God.
Yeah, like coming of age story about a teenager in the 60s. I think it was the 60s as well for Licorice Pizza. And it's more episodic, just like here's a thing that happens to him, here's another thing that happens, and then it just ends abruptly. Like, okay, now it's over. There it is. There it is. I think my issue with this movie, strong word. I want to make it clear. I did enjoy this movie, and I think it's a beautiful film. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know why it needs necessarily to exist. I feel like it was torn a little bit between being a movie about Spielberg's love of movies versus his love for his parents. And I know that in theory it was supposed to be an amalgamation of the two, but I felt like that wasn't super successful, and I was more invested in the family story than I was invested in him having fun making his little home movies and wanting to be a great director. So the way that the movie ended so abruptly with him meeting John Ford, who, might I just say, bold statement to say he's the greatest film director of all time.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna say that and then not tell us who it is. It better be.
Yeah. Oh no, they did. Like in the reveal.
Yeah, they
on
did.
last poster, it
Okay.
said John Ford.
I must have just missed it. I was like, I don't
No,
know.
but it's really small. It's really
Oh,
small.
after you see all the posters,
Yeah.
then you can. But I don't know. I was just like to go through that, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's like the greatest director for the Westerns. Yes, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah, the source of that statement was, some random like guy in TV, right? Some random like dude casting or whatever. Like it wasn't meant to be like, it wasn't the movie telling us the greatest director, nor was it Spielberg. I think it was Joe.
No, it was definitely the movie telling us that.
I didn't interpret it that way myself. I didn't feel like the movie was trying to sell me on that idea. I feel like the guy, the way he delivered that line and the character himself, like he was, I was like, oh, yeah, cool. That's what this guy is like. It's the typical like overselling in show business. Like, do you want to, like I have a AAA like A-list celebrity right next door. It's like Keanu Reeves is like grandfather or something. And it's like that's what I felt was the vibe. But,
Okay. Well, let's move on to you, Alex. First impressions of the movie.
So yeah, I enjoyed the movie. One of the things that I found notable, so I pretty consistently order popcorn at theater for theater films, kind of regardless of the movie. I only won't order popcorn if I'm like full and have no interest in eating. But if I have a little room, I'm going to order a large popcorn. This movie was very difficult for me to enjoy my popcorn. But it's a testament to the movie. So it's due to two reasons. One is not a testament to the film, like in a positive way, but it's just kind of a matter of fact. The movie, and maybe it's a combination of the movie and also the way like our particular theater, adjusted the levels, but the audio of the movie was so consistently quiet. Like the scenes are so like the ambient sound is so like minimal or non-existent, and there's just so few scenes that are loud and rowdy, and so many scenes that are just very low, people talking low or talking regularly or whatever. So in those moments, I don't want to be chewing on popcorn, both so that I can hear and also I don't want to bother other people. But more than that, and more as a testament to the film, I was just very engaged throughout. I just kept wanting to not miss any of what was going on the screen, to look down and see what I was going to put in my mouth. So yeah, that's kind of like something that I found that's notable for me. Like if a movie, based on how it's engaging me, makes it difficult for me to eat popcorn, that's notable. And otherwise, I was thoroughly engaged, glued to the screen. I really enjoyed the movie. I was on the point of tears many times throughout the film. I was right next to Matt, so I couldn't let them show, but secretly.
You're capable
Um,
of that type of emotion?
Well, hang on. We're on air right now, right? The audience loves this sappy stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, on the verge of tears.
All 7 of you, let us know if you like the happy stuff, please.
Yeah. Don't let us know. We already know. We already understand. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. All around. I retrospectively. Well, I guess the one thing I would say is like I thought what's his name, Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
a person.
Seth Rogen's character. I thought his character was kind of like a nothing character. I thought, like personally, I'm not saying it definitively, but personally, my experience with him was that he was simply there as like a tool to deepen the mother story, and like
That's one thing to call him. He's a tool.
Yeah.
Oh, burn.
Yeah, but I personally, I thought he did a good job, like as an actor or whatever. But I just thought
Yeah.
the character itself, the role, the best friend, I felt it ultimately empty. I was like, oh, this literally just served as like a thing that motivates the father and the mother, and specifically the mother, to do stuff, as opposed to which is fine. But yeah.
No, now that you say that, I agree.
Let's talk about Seth Rogen. All right.
Was kind of a waste of Seth Rogen. Well, I think I liked the character and I liked Seth's portrayal of him, and I think I just wanted to see more of him and more of his specific relationship with Sam and the kids, because I got the impression that they got along really well with him, but I didn't really get to see much of that.
Yeah.
So
the emotional moment with him when he leaves and he gives Sam the camera and stuff, like to me that moment was almost kind of cheapened by the fact that like I didn't care about Seth Rogen's character personally. I was like, I don't understand. Like I understand. I understood what the movie was trying to sell me, but I didn't feel that investment. Like I was like, yeah, he.
Do you think we were supposed to feel that unfamiliarity though? Do you think that's intentional, so that we were supposed to, in general, maybe we were supposed to feel uncomfortable with him the same way?
I don't know. It might. Yeah, it might be a reflection.
I wonder
of
now that we're talking about it, I'm just like hypothesizing.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
But if that's the case, personally, I would say that maybe the movie then, like, I would have wanted the movie to kind of do more with that, like show us more of that discomfort or the impacts thereof, because we get the discomfort that Sam has when he witnesses, spoiler alert, his mother and Seth Rogen, mingling. But that's just like, that's kind of the reality. Like, I interpret that as, your mom, you just found out your mom's being unfaithful. That's devastating. That kind of irrelevant of who she's being unfaithful with. Now, how would I? But I also totally get like, well, no, that guy lives with them. There's probably definitely an element of like of extra pain from the fact that not only is your mother being unfaithful, but it's with this guy who's like family, your uncle, right? So definitely, I think that's totally, that could very well be a thing. But I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe the movie should have done more with that, if that's indeed what the intention was in that scene and in general. But interesting.
Yeah. Lauren, what are your first impressions of Fabelmans?
I laughed, I cried, I cared. I with Alex, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought, I don't know if it's Spielberg's best film or even in the top 10, but I liked the personal story. I can see what you're saying about Seth Rogen, because I felt kind of the same way, but I chalked it up to the fact that Seth Rogen is this guy who does like these really kind of sophomoric comedies, and then he's trying to do a drama, and which I thought that he did well, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like, I'm like, when is he going to do something funny? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that was my thing with Seth Rogen, that kind of made a little bit of a distance. But I just have, I'm a sucker for like these kind of family drama kind of things, and I'm a crier, so I'm always looking for something that's going to make me cry, and it succeeded in that. So with that, I think it's a success. Now, do I think it should win the Oscar? I have my feelings. I have my feelings. I have a movie that I want to win, and it's not The Fabelmans.
But is it also a family drama?
It is a family drama. Yes, it is.
You're making me want to see. I know what movie you're talking about, and I still haven't seen it, and I'm dying inside.
I'm saving it for last. In fact, I might actually move it to the last movie we talk about because I think it's going to be the most fun. So
I've seen it 4 times.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because every time, like, I'll watch some kind of analysis about it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that.
So no. So maybe I'm thinking of a different movie then. Okay.
What movie are you thinking of?
I thought you were talking about The Whale.
Oh no!
No, you're talking about
everything.
Well, I got to see that one.
I love The Whale, but no. I don't.
I agree. I want to rewatch it. Yeah, that one.
I'm saving it.
I love that.
Yeah. Fun. Jeanette, what's your first impression of the Fabelmans or the Spielbergs? Like, let's just call it.
I went into it with I watched this with starting at the starting point with any amount of enthusiasm because I was deadly curious. I was just like, oh, Steven Spielberg would like to tell me about his life. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'll watch that no matter what chunk of his life he wants to talk about. Did I wish that maybe this went into the 80s? Yeah. I wish
me too.
That. I was like,
that's the sequel.
I'm like, did we get to see? I was like, do we?
Well, that's the thing. I want a trilogy. The way that this damn movie ended.
Ask and you shall receive.
I know.
Yeah. So I would love that, but my first impression, my takeaway from my first and only viewing so far, it has many different things that people can find to identify with in it. It is a movie that can really speak to a lot of people who either have something I want to say wrong or an issue or something, just maybe an identity crisis. Maybe something's weird in your life. I personally found a thing to latch onto that was kind of peculiar in the movie that I was like, wow, never seen that represented before. That was just really deeply personal to me. And for the rest of the movie, I as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, and that was the thing that really drove me. And like Alex said, I just was glued to it. My husband didn't feel the same way. And so I was like, why am I interested in this? I don't know. I really can't make a good case. If you don't just want to watch it because you're interested in the story, you're not going to watch it. There's no action. Nobody to my remembrance other than a couple of kids, nobody fights. Nobody there's a little bit of scandal, but they're very tasteful about it. I feel like we're in a new era of film where we don't need to pander. There's a lot of tastefulness going on in movies right now that I don't think I would have seen 10, 15 years ago happening, where we can skirt over things that we can just let you know as an audience, and we don't need to show you some sort of explicit scene. Yeah. That's pretty nice. That was refreshing. Not that Spielberg's ever really been guilty of that, but over time, things happen. Yeah, I liked it. And I liked it because I think because I went into it wanting to like it. Even though I'd heard it was a little bit boring. And I think if you can't find something to latch onto, then it can be a little boring. But if you find something in that movie that's personal and touches you and affects you, you'll be in it the whole way through.
Well said. Let's jump into the comments here. AG says, Fabelmans felt personal to Spielberg, and as someone who grew up in a Jewish family, it felt so real. The family versus art passion talk from Uncle Boris hit me where I live. I forgot about Uncle Boris. I know. But then I remembered.
What is that actor's name? I always say the guy from Taxi, and
Independence Day.
Yes, and he's been in a million things. But
I don't know what else I've seen him in, but no, and he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that 4-minute role.
Yeah,
it was. I think he got an Oscar or at least a nomination for Ordinary People.
Which is yes, he did.
Yeah. Judd Hirsch. Hirsch.
Yeah, there you go, Judd. That's his first. I knew it was something. It was like
Hirsch.
Hirsch.
Yeah.
He was in a sitcom called Taxi.
That's what I was saying. I always remember him as the guy from Taxi, and I can never remember his name. But yeah, he's always fantastic.
Yeah.
So how did we feel about that scene? I was a little thrown off first with the ghost phone call warning that Uncle Boris was coming, and then Uncle Boris.
I forgot about that phone call.
Yeah. Because I still think that was weird. But then Uncle Boris did show up, and the scene I thought was definitely a highlight of the movie. But what struck me was when he says something to the effect of, "You love your family, but you obviously love your art more." And then Sammy's like, no, it's not true. He's like, yes, it is. And to me, it felt like that was setting something up that I don't know for sure that the movie fully continued to explore. Because I think at the end of the day, the movie shows that he loved his art equal to the love for his family. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my reading of it anyway. Like, I think the movie ends kind of with him having a nice resolution with his mom, a nice resolution with his dad, where they're both accepting him. And then he goes forth and he meets John Ford and he reframes his life, literally. So that whole idea of you have to pick, which is kind of the vibe I got from that scene.
His dad tells him at the end too. His dad basically tells him, you're going to be a workaholic. You're going to do what I did. I feel like, and then his mom at one point in the movie and his dad both have two separate scenes where they're like, you're just like me. You're just like me. And so I feel like that was a theme. It was like a ping pong throughout the whole movie where there were scenes of a person on each side of the aisle saying, you're going to do this. You're going to be like this. I feel like there was at least 4 scenes I can think of where they ping ponged that a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think that idea that Boris was getting at, I think it worked on 2 levels. I think the first level, or the first half of that like statement that, I think you love your art more than your family. I think it was a kind of revelatory. So it was less meant to be like a, you have to choose now. And it was more of like this is who you are and this is who you've been. So like your life up until now, you like, not your whole life, obviously, but since you found your art, you've been prioritizing your art at the expense of or over your family in some way. And I think the other level is that you're going to continue to do this. You're like a slave to your art, as it were. But yes, I didn't interpret it as like you have to choose or, and I certainly didn't interpret it as a like matter of fact in the sense of, the love meter reads 50 for your family and 51 for your art, or 49 for your family and 51 for your art. I interpreted it more as like, again, as like, in the sense of Sam, he's not dissuaded by his father calling his art a hobby, by his father clearly telling him and indicating to him that making movies isn't serious and isn't useful, and he's not dissuaded by, like, he's not like, he loves it more than his family in the sense that he's willing to sacrifice his family in some level. In some sense, he's willing to sacrifice the cohesion of the family. He's willing to
I think he feels like what he's doing is healing his family, and that neither of his parents are attempting to heal his family. That was kind of what I took away, was every time something horrible happens, his family is like, make one of your films. Or like his sister criticizes him, and then he's like, can you watch this with me? And then she's like, oh, this is great. Like, now I feel close, like, and when the mom's upset, the dad wants him to make a film. And like, I just feel, and then whenever they're on the camping trip, they start filming. And like, I feel like he comes to the rescue, and he just doesn't realize that until later on.
That scene that you mentioned with the sister, I interpreted it differently. I interpreted that as like, as the sister just comes in, she complains to him, she's finished her yelling at him about how he's selfish and more selfish than the mother, and then I interpreted it as him actively fighting against what Boris said. I interpreted him as being like, I'm going to prioritize my family over my art, and basically being like, hey sis, like, just come here and spend time with me, basically. And I interpreted the sister's reaction at the end, like putting her head on his shoulders, being like, I love you, brother, and less to do with the actual content of the movie, personally.
Oh yeah, no, it had nothing to do with the content. It was just that drew them together. Like that, his movies in some
like
shape.
the fact, in the context of he was working. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was in the headspace of Boris giving him like a Greek tragedy prophecy solely because it was set up by the ghost phone call, the mom saying like he's coming, don't let him. And
I interpreted that as the mother's psychosis. I thought she was going to go crazy. That's what I thought the movie was telling us. That she was going to like go insane, and that was the beginning of it. But I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying in that moment, that's what I thought.
Well, I guess I would agree, except she did actually predetermine that that Boris was going to show up. So, and I'm sure that this is something that is an
broken clock
event
twice a day.
From there you go.
What'd you say, Lauren? What'd you say?
Oh, yeah.
No, I just said that I thought that too. That she was going crazy. Yeah.
I think we were supposed to get that idea, right? Like that it wasn't like she wasn't terrible, and I don't think she was like awfully dangerous, but that she was a little touched, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was crazy or if they were implying he was an alcoholic or something.
I thought about that too. But did we see very many scenes of her actively drinking?
I don't think so.
No, but Paul Dano at one point says something like you had a little too much to drink or something, and I thought, okay, they're trying to tell us that she's like a drinker or something, but they never really land on any of it. So
there were a couple of things, because we were bringing that up, and I'm thinking back to the scenes of them at like eating and drinking, and there were small things like the disposable tablecloth, like
I love that.
And the disposable stuff, like his mom
she doesn't do dishes,
was like, I ain't doing dishes. I think we're supposed to think she's like trashy for this, but God bless her. I mean,
I never thought she was trashy. I just thought of her as like this wonderfully
practical woman.
Artist. Who was just like, I don't want to say forced into a domestic life, but found herself in a domestic life, but still had all these qualities of like, I'm a bohemian at heart.
And let me take this opportunity to say that I've said this on this show many times. I don't care for Michelle Williams. I don't like her as an actress. I think the only emotion she ever conveys is sadness. Like, I don't think she can convey any other emotion. This was the first role that I was genuinely invested in a character that she was playing. Like the first time that I can remember. So just taking the opportunity to give like the first time I'm saying something. We'll wait for Kirsten Dunst's time to come. Okay. But like,
came and went with too much.
Interview with a vampire.
Yeah, exactly. I say that all the time. But Michelle Williams, I liked her in this one. That character Red, like that was beautiful.
And then there was a moment where she bought the monkey. And I thought, what's happening?
I needed to laugh.
So there was that was one of the things that made me realize in this movie, they make reference, and this is what makes it feel so authentic. They make reference to things that were very like in at the time. Like his first girlfriend from like the mid 60s to like the early 70s, there was like this sexy Jesus thing that went on. And that was totally, there was like this whole image of, because it was like a hippie thing, right? Like he looked like a hippie. It was this whole imagery thing that went on with him. And it was a market, you know, like it was like the what would Jesus do bracelets when we were kids, like that. It's a marketing thing, right? You're going to do what you have to do. And so like there was this whole kind of like I don't know if to call it movement, but like it was a thing. It was an imagery thing. And then to show the monkey, like a lot of people in that time period were getting monkeys as pets. There weren't as many strict laws on it. Yeah, like this was a thing that people were doing. My mom grew up with someone across the street from her when she was a kid in the early 70s, which is, you know, right around that same time period, that had a monkey that wore a diaper. And like, you know, like that's wild to me. Cause like when I grew up, you couldn't do that. That was illegal. So I just thought it was cool because they did reference like weird little things of these time periods that were like, he has to be telling the truth because like you don't make
no idea about the monkey thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was like an in pet to have.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things I thoroughly enjoyed about the movie was the period piece element of it, because it felt, even though I wasn't there and I don't know much about the 60s, it felt very authentic in ways that I can't necessarily pinpoint, but yes, it felt very much like he was recounting his experience of growing up then. It almost made me nostalgic for it, even though I wasn't around then. But yeah, it put me in the headspace of like this. I want to go back to this. I want to go back to making my Super 8 movies on my class field trip.
I feel like when they don't push too hard in the costuming and makeup area, when they just get it there, the set decoration, they don't push really, really hard. And they depend on just elements and everything. They just let you be there. It works a lot better. It feels more, tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up what the Fabelmans is nominated for because I'm curious now. So I want to see if nominated.
Well, and like Lauren said, I mean, is it Best Picture? I don't think so. But it's a good story. I think that's like my description for it is a good story.
Yeah. I mean, like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really
Here we go. Done. So it's been nominated for Best Production Design. How do we feel about the production design? Like, period.
That's what I just said. I like it.
I know. Yeah. I agree with Jeanette.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my final argument about that.
We've got Best Original Score by John Williams. Now, I couldn't tell you what the score sounded like.
Yeah, me neither.
I really wish I could love it because it is John Williams and it's supposedly the last one he's going to do for a movie.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Although I was surprised that he
no. I lied. He's doing the last Indiana Jones.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I lied.
Good. He's doing
that's a good one to close.
I'm pretty sure. Check me. I mean, somebody fact check me in the comments here, but it's either this one or it's the Indiana Jones. One of those is the last
Indiana Jones. I know he's scoring Indiana Jones. So.
Okay, yeah. So then it's that one.
Okay, good.
But this is, he's on his way out right now, but it's crazy because you're right. I couldn't hum anything for you right now.
Yeah, which at the very least is a testament to the it's a testament to its like working with everything else. It didn't stand out.
Yeah, no, like it's not like the Hobbit theme that infuriates me from the Lord of the Rings, where I felt like that was upstaging the action. Like do. I hate that so much. But yeah, no, I think the impression that Alex, you look distressed.
He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like what action? There's nothing going on. Like it's just setting us up in Hobbiton. Like there's nothing you're missing.
No, it keeps coming. It keeps coming back.
Beautiful music.
Anytime Peter Jackson wants you to cry, he'll play the stupid Hobbit music.
Yeah, it's a beautiful melody.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
But
anyway, John Williams didn't pull a Hobbit theme. He evidently wrote a score that.
He also didn't do a Harry Potter here either. Like you play that little twinkly part of Harry Potter, and I don't care where I am. I'm like, it's magical. It's so great. Like you can play that anywhere, and you play Star Wars anywhere, and I'm gonna get like goosebumps, right? Like this movie, I don't know that I would pick up that it was from this movie if you played it right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of when I start crying in a film, it's like everything that's part of it, including the score.
Yeah.
So it must have left enough impact on me to like get me to cry, but I just can't remember what it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah. So Spielberg's good about using those musical cues to get you to do what the heck he wants you to do in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though nothing will ever beat the E.T., the moon.
Yeah. Or the Jurassic Park. I mean, the Jurassic Park one is the one I hum the most to myself. The dun, 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 dun. Like that one's playing all the time. All the time.
So I have like a whole soundtrack of his work in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love John Williams. We love John Williams.
Yeah.
Next is nominated for Best Original Screenplay by Spielberg and Tony Kushner, and Tony's also the one that adapted West Side for him last year. So how do we feel about the screenplay
compared to other movies, which is what the Oscars are? No.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good screenplay, but again, I have another movie in my head that it's Although, yeah, no, that was original as well. So, yeah, I'm not voting for it.
No, I think
because
the moments that worked the best for me were mostly non-verbal in this film. So that's almost the exact opposite of screenplay. Which actually, well, when we talk about Michelle Williams, I'll get more into that. But yeah, I feel like the spoken word was fine. It did what it had to do, but it's not a script that I have any desire to either read or hear people recite for me. Like when I think to The Social Network, for example, like that's a screenplay that I adore, that I just am excited by hearing people speak, whether it's in the movie or just reading it on the page. I didn't get that from this. It was fine.
Yeah, I think it got you where you needed to be.
Yeah. And Judd. I mean, we've already kind of discussed Judd, but as Best Supporting Actor, I think I'm always fascinated when someone gets a nomination for a role like this that is literally just one scene and they don't come back. They're just there and they make such an impact that it grabs the attention.
Did they classify the guy from, because this kind of, I didn't agree with this. Did they classify the guy from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once as a supporting actor at the Oscars too?
Yeah.
So they did it. I feel like he's the lead actor. If we're gonna keep,
that's like a weird politics thing that they do.
Are we still separating actor and actress nowadays, or is it one category?
No,
we're still separating.
No, it's
in the Oscars,
it's still separated, right? Yeah. Okay, so. I would say if that guy's in the supporting actor category, absolutely not a single person is going to stand a chance.
Yeah, he's a lock. I mean, I mean, if he doesn't win, there's no justice.
Yeah. Who else do you have the list? Do we have the list? Who else?
No, I think I might have it memorized. So it's Everything, Everywhere, All at Once guy. It's Uncle Boris. It's the two guys from Banshees of Inisherin.
They're both considered supporting actors.
In Banshees, it's Brendan. Banshees, it's Brendan Gleeson and no, not Colin Farrell, the younger guy.
The kid who's in Eternals.
Yeah. So Colin's nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, that kid from Eternals though is pretty freaking good.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I say kid because he looks really young, but for all I know, he's my age. So like, I don't know. Like. He's really good.
He's great.
One of the best parts of Eternals, honestly.
Yeah.
Like his acting.
That's not notable though. But
no.
Well, I mean,
the best part of Eternals.
I won't argue that one's merit. I love it, but I won't argue its merit.
Okay. You can love it.
Who's the fifth? Who's the fifth nominee? It's
there's somebody.
Oh. I don't even know what this movie is. Causeway. It's a guy who was in Causeway.
That's about the Causeway Bridge where I'm from.
You were born on a bridge?
Well, it's not about the bridge. Yes, I grew up under the bridge. I'm a troll, actually. It's the Causeway Bridge, but it's not about the bridge. I mean, it's about people, and it has to do with the bridge, I guess. But like, anyway, I got excited because I'm like, oh, that movie's nominated. Hold on, I'm blurry. But I know who you're talking about though. But yeah, no. If the guy from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is nominated, then nobody else.
I still haven't seen it. Everyone's building it up so much. Imagine I watch it and I hate it.
I'm primed to hate it. I've heard so much good
please,
about it.
Please don't hate it.
I know. I will be so sad.
I would be so shocked.
Imagine Alex and I just show up ready to hate on it for a full 3 hours.
Oh my god. Lauren and I
we should go in like saying I'm
Lauren and I would just break down in tears.
I know, I would definitely like crying on the show and I wouldn't be able to stop.
Oh my gosh, the pressure's on. Well, it's not for a few more weeks. So next nominee is Michelle Williams for Best Actress, which I think is interesting to piggyback on what we were just discussing, because she had to fight to get nominated in this category because they were going to push her for supporting actress. And she said, no, I'm a lead. Put me in the lead category. And the whole conversation in these award shows about what classifies a lead versus supporting, I always find interesting because I think it's such a common move for people who are the leads of movies to go for supporting, knowing that they have a better chance of winning, like # Jennifer Hudson, Dreamgirls, which
Yeah.
in no way is she the supporting actress. Like it's the Effie movie.
Because I'm sorry, she might have just screwed herself because she's against
Oh yeah, no.
Michelle Yeoh
Michelle
and Kate
Yeoh.
Blanchett. I mean, as
Oh.
far as I'm concerned, putting yourself against Kate Blanchett's the same thing as putting yourself against Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah.
I'm like, forget it. She's the new Meryl Streep, so you can just, Michelle
I think
Yeoh is the only one that can beat her this year.
I think Michelle Williams could have won. I think she could have easily won if she was in Best Supporting Actress.
That's what I'm trying to look up right as supporting act. Like, you just screwed yourself if you really did try for that.
The supporting actress this year: Angela Bassett, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, good.
Michelle.
Good. So she's gonna let Jamie Lee Curtis win then. That's great.
No, it's gonna be Angela Bassett. It's gonna be Angela Bassett, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
I do love Angela Bassett. I didn't see that. I didn't see the new.
Oh, I haven't seen it either, but I just feel like
she's
buzz.
amazing in that movie.
She's amazing. I will take Angela Bassett in just about any capacity.
It's on Disney Plus today, so I can finally see it.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, how did we feel about Michelle Williams? Just overall, I feel like I echo Jeanette's thoughts. It's the first role where I've truly been captivated and loved her.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have an active dislike for her before. I just found that she was boring in most other things. But in this, like, she had my whole heart. And I was just so taken by how much emotion she was able to express just through her eyes and through, like, visually. Like, there were so many shots where Sam was like taking photos of his mom and dad together, and you just saw the love in Paul's eyes and the sadness in hers.
See,
and that's what got
He's
me.
just like, I'm holding the sadness in my face.
Oh, but it's so good.
Act differently, and it worked in this one.
It worked so well.
You can be as sad as you want.
Yeah, and even I feel like her natural sadness. Alex, what are you doing?
I know. What was I gonna say? I'm like, what's that?
My camera broke or something. And
Okay, well then, fix it. But yeah, her natural sadness, I like countered the moments when she was trying to be really happy, which made it even sadder. And I just feel like she was just such a fully realized character. Like I felt the love, I felt the Spielberg love for his real life mom in her performance. And there was even, okay, well, Alex, when you're back, you'll be back. There we go. You're in the waiting room. I didn't kick you out. So I remember midway through watching the Fabelmans, I was thinking she feels very much like Gwen Verdon right now. Then I remembered at Spielberg's Golden Globe speech, he said that when he saw Fosse Verdon, where she played Gwen Verdon, that's when he knew that she had to be his mom. So I just thought that was interesting, that I was sitting there thinking, why do I feel like I'm watching Gwen Verdon? And then that's exactly why.
Wow.
Yeah. So, oh wait, Alex, you're on a different side now. Hold on. That's better. Okay.
I really like Michelle Williams. Although I've always liked Michelle Williams, even when she was on Dawson's Creek. And it's so funny that to think when I was having this conversation with my family, that of all of the people from Dawson's Creek that I thought would succeed after that show, Michelle Williams was at the bottom.
Well, they all had their time. They all had their time in the sun, right? Like every single one of them has had at some point a nice peak after that. I think. Like
but Michelle Williams,
she has had the longest.
Yeah,
and I think definitely. Katie Holmes got nominated before, right? Didn't she get nominated for Batman or
sounds
something?
familiar. What?
I feel like she did.
Nominated for Batman.
Like for the
Dark Knight?
Not Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
I forgot.
Why do I feel like that happened? I could be.
No,
lying.
I don't think any of the Nolan Batman movies. Oh, what am I saying? Ledger got nominated, so I'm sure she might have. Yeah.
But anyway, just I agree with you. Like of all that cast, I also think we were told that that Joshua Jackson and James Vanderbeek were going to be like everything forever and always, and Katie Holmes and Michelle Williams definitely had more successful careers after that.
Yeah, I feel like in the entirety of this cast, she was the one that kept my attention the most.
Yeah,
and the one that I was the most engaged with. I think Paul. Is it Dano or Dano? The kid from Little Miss Sunshine. I thought he did a beautiful performance, but just by the nature of who his character was, he was less obviously interesting. But I thought they balanced each other perfectly. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. He's such a good actor. He's like amazing. I almost feel like he's one of those actors that makes it look so effortless that I don't think he gets recognized sometimes for as good as he's being, simply because he doesn't affect like any, I don't know.
His veins aren't popping out. He's not.
He just doesn't
struggling.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
No, I feel it.
Little
Little
Miss
Miss
Sunshine.
and I think he was
There
in
Will
was
Be
he
Blood.
in Prisoners? Yeah, he was in There Will Be Blood. Was he in Prisoners? Hold on. I think he was.
He was the Riddler recently with
yes, he was. He
was
the Riddler. Yeah, and he was in Prisoners. You want to see?
Somewhere.
You want to see what I think is one of his best performances is Prisoners. I was pretty sure that was him if I was remembering it.
I don't even know what Prisoners is.
Freaking amazing. And I don't even like the other two. Well, I don't want to say that's a lie. I like Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, for whatever it's worth, but typically wouldn't make it my favorite movie. It's really good. Anyway, Paul Dano I think he's just always good.
I thought he would personally, I would have given him my best supporting actor vote over Uncle Boris, but that's just me.
Yeah, that is a little weird that they would. That's a little weird.
Yeah, I think Michelle Williams has the flashier role, but
he's not nominated.
No, he's not nominated. No, he didn't get anything. And I think the movie kind of sits on both of their shoulders about the balance between the two.
Yeah.
Like you need both.
And then the kid's not nominated either.
He didn't deserve to get nominated. He was just he was a warm body that said some words.
Oh
my god!
I said what I said.
I don't think he's that far away from Paul, to be honest, or Dan or whatever his name is, Paul Dano.
They should have nominated the Jesus Freak girl.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She was one of the highlights.
She was pretty great.
She was.
Yeah.
I said to Alex in our post movie review on the drive back from the theater that after Michelle Williams, I think she was my favorite performance.
She was really great. That's really well acted. That took a lot of to make me not be really worried about him in that moment, because that could go psycho.
Her level of breathing the Holy Spirit into him, it was just pure comedic gold, and she grounded it in a way where it didn't feel unrealistic.
Yeah, the deadpan faces afterwards are so amazing.
And actually, that scene might have been my favorite scene. The way that it was shot, just the reveal of the crucifix. In
that whole section of the movie, not so much with the boys, the fighting and whatever, but the beach stuff and the high school. I liked all of that. Felt very fun. It was a nice break in the middle of all the mishmash of what was going on around him. It was a nice little segment.
Yeah. No, I think that might have been my favorite chunk of the movie, my favorite episode, as it were, of the movie, where he was just having fun and enjoyable. And then next, best director, Spielberg.
Always a chance. He is
all
Steven
time.
Spielberg. He is Steven Spielberg.
Alex, the best director of all time is John Ford. We've been through this.
Yeah, they told us that.
But for this year,
in my mind, I feel like the director best picture will be split between Everything Everywhere All at Once and the Fabelmans, and one of them is going to win one and the other one is going to win the other. But I don't know.
But
I can
let me pee in your ant pile for a second. I'm just asking. Is Cameron nominated for director?
No,
I didn't think so. I thought so. I'm just saying, we got a Spielberg. It would have been nice to get an all-star lineup thing. It's a Cameron Spielberg. I just want to see all
showdown.
The names.
Except nothing can beat when Cameron was opposite his ex-wife and she won. That was chef's kiss.
Which one was that?
That was when she won for The Hurt Locker. I can't remember her name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that was his ex-wife.
Yeah, that was the whole thing about how he was nominated against his ex-wife, and it was his huge lifelong dream passion project. And then her movie, whatever it was, I didn't see it.
Jeremy Renner device.
You didn't see The Hurt Locker? It's a good film.
Yeah, should I? It's too late. The Oscars have passed.
It's Jeremy Renner and a bunch of military talk.
Yeah.
Isn't Bradley Cooper in that as well, or am I conflating that? Is that like
No,
the
that's
sniper
Guardians
or
of the
something?
Is he a raccoon? Is he kissing
No.
Lady Gaga? I don't.
No. He's a soldier.
Imagine Rocket Raccoon making out with Lady Gaga.
Oh, I didn't mean at the same time, but I'll.
No, I know, but
I
just want to see A Star Is Born, and it's exactly the same, but it's just Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon.
Just Rocket Raccoon trying to make it on Earth, abandoned by the Guardians.
Now I'm picturing Rocket Raccoon singing "Shallow" with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Tell me something, girl.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
Ah.
My prediction, I think it will be split because I don't know the last time the same movie won for director and actor. So I think it will be split, but I think there's a chance it could be split with Banshees taking one of them because there's a lot of buzz with Banshees.
I think Banshees might get cinematography for sure. Although
I think it might get
everywhere
Best
all
Picture.
at once. I mean, geez, that's kind of.
No, it's like I want the Daniels, even though I haven't seen their movie yet. I want the two Daniels to get Best Director.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Which movie?
For Everything,
That's
Everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah. I think that's gonna sweep. Personally, I mean, that's not a hot take.
Yeah.
You're about to say things.
Yeah, I actually thought that the cinematography and I guess maybe direction, but like I thought the shots in Fabelmans were actually pretty standout. Like,
oh, they were beautiful.
Yeah, I thought consistently, like scene to scene, I thought the framing and the visuals, the light balance, like everything was very
lens flare.
Like,
yeah, the lens flare,
filming
lens flare. Sorry, Lauren.
When it was filming things, I thought that was really
and so I actually, I mean, part of me did kind of recognize the Spielberg effect, if you will. Like I think he consistently shoots his movies well and in a way that, like, I think he knows how to tell stories with the camera, for lack of a better way to put it. But yeah, I attribute the sort of glued to the screen phenomenon that I experienced in part to just the way everything was shot, and me just kind of like discovering visually the different layers of the shots and appreciating the different sort of aesthetic aspects of them. Well,
I think that's like a Spielberg trademark now, is that he's known for doing very well thought out tracking shots or continuous shots that just reframe without having to cut in brilliant ways. Like I think my favorite shot, which actually, Alex, I think you missed because I think you were getting popcorn. Like the opening shot was so understated, but such a beautiful way to set up what the movie was about. Just like showing the movie theater, and then like it's not a pan, I don't know the word, I guess petting down to show like little tiny Sammy, and then hearing the parents' voices, and then having them come into frame, like by coming down into his level, and just the visual brilliance.
I didn't miss that.
Separate. Did you miss that, or did you see it?
No, I saw it.
Oh, you did?
Did you notice that they shot Paul Dano's character from like looking up at him most of the movie? Like they shot him from far away when they were showing us.
Yeah, it was like an upward angle.
But when we weren't seeing Sammy, when Sammy wasn't in the shot, most of the time it was being shot looking up at him. And I feel like the shots of the mom were dead on. Like we were looking into her eyes. Like we were looking straight into her face.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can think of some like scenes that reflect that. Like,
Well, yeah, I think this movie is very much sympathizing with the mom, so that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that. But,
I have a soft spot for like a lot of times in movies when they show like a supposedly workaholic dad. I rarely take the stance they want you to take. I'm like, no, that guy's working his ass off. And he's making a lot of money and he's supporting his family. I'm like, I'm supposed to maybe be a little like, nah, you're never home. And I never am. I'm like, no, dude, like you're working your butt off. Especially this guy. He was so sweet.
I think the thing was that he had a love for his mother and respect for his father. That's a great
way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought of it myself.
Well done. It reminds me of one of my favorite lines in the movie, which I thought was way too insightful to come from a child at like on a whim, when she said that Seth Rogen always makes her laugh, but Paul Dano is her best audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just thought that's a beautiful piece of writing. I don't know that I buy it coming so eloquently from a 12-year-old who's just in an emotional place to think.
It's a 12-year-old girl, though, so really
Oh,
you
that's
should be thinking like a 15-year-old boy, you know.
That's true. But yeah, beautiful line. Adore it.
For some reason, I can't. I think of that line as coming from the mother, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the kid in the. I think it was the scene when
dark-haired
older sister, younger sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the scene when she just finds out about when they all find out about the divorce that she calls him selfish or something. I think it's that scene. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I saw it the one time.
It's tied into that chunk. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just can't picture her. I just picture it being like the mother being like, "Oh, Benny makes me laugh, but your father's always my best audience." But anyway,
it does sound. But maybe that's maybe it's like almost unintentional, right? That like the daughter sounds
like the mother,
mom
talks like the mom. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of sidebar. I felt like the sisters were just kind of there, and I didn't enjoy them as characters as much as I think I would have liked to.
I almost wondered if and it is that chunk of his life. So like when you're that age too, you don't really get in. I would assume I don't have siblings, so like correct me if I'm wrong, but like maybe you don't meddle in the affairs of your siblings as much at that age because you're more concerned about yourself.
You do your thing, I'll do my thing. We'll meet up again in 4 years.
Well, no, like, and with friends growing up, that was the vibe I got, was like we would rather to not be together, but like when we are, it's cool, whatever. But I mean, I get it, but I do wonder maybe also if his real life sisters were like, maybe don't put so much about us in that movie.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. I think you're
presumably they're still alive and the parents are gone.
Yeah. I think you're probably hitting on something too, though, with the fact that like in those early formative years, like there's only so much attention you have to observe, what's going on around you. So he probably doesn't have a lot of vivid memories that are just about his sisters. It's probably his memories are about what he was experiencing.
Family,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and and like the notable stuff that involved the sisters, I think he put in the film and stuff. So
yeah,
I didn't mind. I didn't mind. Like sisters didn't play a big role, but I thought the sisters, like I thought the actors were all great, and I thought they just made it all like, I believed it. Like there wasn't a point in the movie where I was like, oh yeah, the sisters still exist, or like, I mean, maybe there was, maybe like towards the end or something, maybe there was one moment.
They did convey a lot of emotion, though. I felt like the girls acted like teenage girls would act. Like I thought it was they were obviously like as mature as their brother because they're just slightly younger than him, and they were outraged. Like the girl who cried during the divorce scene. I really felt like she like really was losing her ish. Like she was like, oh my god, it's jarring, right? It's like
yeah.
She kind of went hard on the like silhouette moment.
Yeah,
though.
It's another moment that I feel. It's another moment that I feel like if you have lived that, even though it's towards the end of the movie, let's say you haven't found anything to really grasp onto, that's a very visceral moment. If someone sits you down and does that, and like that, I'm sure affected a lot of people, and it's something else he put in this movie. The thing that I found to latch on to had to do with a different part, but like. I just hadn't seen it portrayed that way before. And to know that someone like Steven Spielberg, one of the most successful people in the world, had lived through a very unique, odd, weird, uncomfortable thing that I had gone through was very, very touching because it wasn't something I really expected to see. So it was really great. I don't know. I as far as the if we're talking about directing, I feel like this one's a contender, right? Yeah. Like, but like we said, there's a lot of other good things.
Like, I think it's a contender. I think it's a contender by merit of it being Spielberg versus solely this movie. It feels to me like it would be a contender to just give Spielberg a directing Oscar.
Yeah.
Like it is a good movie and it's a well-directed movie, but I think it would be a bigger thing about like we're honoring your entire body of work with this movie, which in and of itself is kind of reflective of your entire body of work, which kind of segue to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was how did everyone feel about the pseudo meta qualities about this movie? Because I felt like there were a few moments where it was very much Spielberg behind the camera, sort of winking to the audience, like when the other kid beat him up and he's like, I won't tell anyone unless I make a movie about it one day. Wink, wink. Or the literal last shot of the movie where the horizon is in the middle.
Oh, yeah. And they move.
I would love to know if Spielberg actually handled the camera for that. I want to believe he did.
You know what? I don't think it's unlikely. I think it's very likely at some point anyway, because I don't know if you knew this, but on West Side Story, he himself took his Apple phone and went and recorded all the people's feet dancing, and that was how they got the shots of people's feet dancing. Was Steven Spielberg with his iPhone?
I love that.
And recorded people on his freaking phone. And this was this on Smartless podcast Smartless? The interview with him that I heard that. So if anybody wants to hear that, it was the best. I haven't heard a ton of interviews with Steven Spielberg, but it was one of my favorite ones I'd ever heard. And it validates a lot of this movie. It tells you a lot about what parts were very, very true and what parts were a little bit, maybe a little touched. So
yeah, well, no, I found an interview with him from about 5 or 6 years ago where he tells his John Ford story, and it's exactly moment for moment everything that we saw in the final scene, which I thought was kind of like not even kind of very cool. But yeah, how did everyone like those little moments of Spielberg just almost breaking through the screen to say it's a movie about my life? Mostly the kid when he's like, maybe I'll make a movie about it one day.
I had heard that there was going to be some sort of reference to like his belief in aliens, or like I thought there was like an alien interaction. I thought there was like some sort of alien interaction. He talks about it in these interviews, like, I do believe I had an alien interaction when I was younger or something. Like
maybe his first girlfriend, he thinks.
So are you talking about like actual aliens?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so like he alluded, I thought it was in this movie, but I guess not. I thought there was going to be something about that. Maybe it's in his book. I don't know.
Maybe there's a UFO in the last shot on the horizon.
Like when he was playing his hand in the rain, I thought that's where we were going. I thought it was going there, but then it didn't happen. So like, I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood something he said, but but yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but I was just remembering that he had brought that up in an interview, and I was like, I didn't see that anywhere in this movie.
Yeah, well, it would have been, could have been meta.
Yes, maybe an alien's the one who called the mom and said, "Don't let Uncle Boris turn your kid into an artist."
Yeah, or maybe
she was probed.
Yeah.
It would have been better if he said phone home.
Yeah. I feel like there was a shot in the movie that had somebody like sticking their finger
There
out.
was an E.T. shot. I can't remember what it is. I just remember Alex leaning over and saying E.T.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the hand in the rain.
That's probably it.
I don't know, but it was this. It was a finger. It was an index finger, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember something. I don't remember where. There was an index finger somewhere. Somebody pointed. Anyway.
I would have to see it again because
yeah.
My problem is when I go in, I try to just soak it up without like analyzing it.
Yeah.
And so I've only seen it once. Like once we get to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
We'll be able to analyze that. but this one I mean, I could see the things that you guys are talking about, but it didn't jump out at me.
Yeah, like I didn't. And similarly, like I
didn't feel forced.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go into the movie with. Yeah, like I personally didn't go into the movie with a lot of like context, like right before, like I didn't know anything about the movie, and then right before, like we went in, like you mentioned that it was a Spielberg, autobiographical pick, and I was like, okay, I don't, if you quiz me in the moment on like Spielberg, I can't really tell you much. You know, but yeah, and like, but yeah, like the you know, if I ever make a movie about it, like at that point in the film, I was like, yeah, obviously, that's like a whatever, maybe a bit of a cheeky line, but yeah, like for me, I still personally I wasn't seeing the movie as like Spielberg's life. I was seeing it as a biographical or autobiographical movie, but like it wasn't so important to me that it was about particularly Steven Spielberg. Like I wasn't like the whole time I wasn't like this kid becomes like a super famous, successful filmmaker. I was just like, no, I know he makes it, but I was invested in the story as they were telling it moment to moment. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's interesting stories in that period of his life from when he starts working in the industry to like when he becomes successful. And I'm sure there's stories even after that.
I just want to see him shooting Jaws, E.T., and Jurassic Park. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I feel like it would be really weird though to have the Fabelman extended universe where we would have to see Sammy making Jaws, because then it's a little too much like, is this Steven Spielberg or is it Sammy Fabelman?
I love
Imagine if it's just slightly different, like instead of a shark movie, it's like a crocodile.
That would be hilarious.
Claws. Alligator claws. Crocodile claws.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, paws if it's about something with paws.
Like a giant cat.
Yeah.
We like that.
We do. So what was the single most impactful and or favorite moment for everyone in the movie?
Ooh, terrible question.
I know. I said what I said.
I'll tell you one of my favorite, most memorable lines that I thought was like just like a gut punch.
Yeah.
When you're wondering if the husband understands about the affair and all of this, like you're like, does he know? Does he care? Is it a love triangle? Like I was very confused. And there's this part where after she gets the monkey, he comes into the room and he goes, you know, we're all very worried about you. You know, you got this monkey. We're worried. And he goes, you're acting like you did when your mom died. You're grieving, but nobody has died. And she goes, oh, okay. We'll just change the name of the monkey then. And I was like, and then Bunky's name was Benny. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, he knows. And like now she's like mad at him about it. I was like,
okay.
That threw me for a loop. That one, and then obviously, like I said, the Jesus freak scene.
See, when she said that, the Jesus, oh man. But when she said that in that scene that you're referencing, I interpreted that as her basically blowing him off. I interpreted that as her being like he was saying all these things like, honey, like you're not well, you're acting like you did, like, and digging this kind of deep, you know, analyzing it. And then she was just like, all right, fuck it. Then we'll just change the name of the monkey. Like,
did you just swear on my show?
Then I've already done that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not unprecedented. And we got the bleepers, right? We got the bleepers. That was bleep.
No, we don't.
We got the bleepers.
This is live.
Live television.
You didn't hire the bleeper? We didn't.
No. The bleeper's on strike.
Okay. Anyway, so it's just interesting because like that's to me it didn't impact me that much in that moment. I think I assumed that I think my default was from the beginning that once we found out about the affair once you found out about the affair and the husband, like they're in the road trip and the husband because he makes a comment in the car. He says, he references Benny or something. He says he makes a comment before they stop.
Later on, when they're at home, he says something to the effect of IBM didn't need him, and maybe neither do I anymore.
No. But when they're on the trip, the first road trip, and they're all in the car, when they make the stop, and the wife gets out and she starts crying, the first move or whatever. I guess the move when she picks up and she goes out and the son goes after him. He made a comment before she leaves that insinuated heavily in my mind that he was aware. He said something. He says. Well, it's something I think it's almost something to the effect of either something like we're gonna miss Benny or like isn't it fun without Benny around? But it might not even be. He might not even directly reference Benny, but he says something to that effect of like like, isn't it fun being without our best friends or something like this? And it's like this passive aggressive. That's the way I interpreted it. He said something passive aggressive.
Yeah, no,
and then
I
she
think
like
there's little breadcrumbs for us the whole time, for sure, about whether he does or doesn't know. But then it just gets more and more painfully obvious, which again, I think was intentional. We're supposed to feel how he felt, like, I think there's something. I think there's something. Now I know there's something.
Where I thought about it was when they stop in the car and she like runs out and he's just kind of sitting there and it's like, oh, that's when I said to myself, oh, he knows.
Yeah. Like that's the I remember thinking that as well, that he was just like, he said something, she left, and he was just like sitting there kind of like, let her blow this off the steam or whatever, let her grieve, but anyway.
So Alex, what was your single most impactful and or favorite moment?
Don't like that question.
Okay, well, then one standout moment.
Yeah.
Not to imply that it was the only one.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, good.
So I guess I can't really fuzzy memories kicking in right now. So but one moment that did stand out for me was the when the mother says the line about she's leaving, she's divorcing or whatever, and she basically says, Sam, she says, like, you do what your heart tells you to because you don't owe anybody your life. Yeah, and to me that was like, that just, so the mother to me, because earlier we talked, like, you said something about how like you're supposed to be sympathetic to the mother, and I felt like the movie didn't go hard one way or the other. I felt the movie gave us enough on both ends. Like, I think the movie really did a lot, I mean, just in the script and the dialogue, to showcase and highlight how selfish the mother was. But I also think, well, I mean, as a matter of fact, multiple characters call her selfish.
Yeah, but they're judging her. I don't think she's selfish.
Well, she also calls herself selfish.
She's a little bit selfish.
No, like, I think she does want the only selfish thing I think she does is choose to
cheat on her husband.
Leave. No, but Benny made her happy. She needed Benny, and then she didn't want her family to like fall apart, so she stayed with. I feel like had she been selfish earlier on, it would have been mentally healthier and emotionally healthier for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I think the movie does. I think, to get back to that point, like, I think the movie does both. I think the movie like gives a solid argument for her selfishness, but also like portrays her in like an exciting, interesting, and empowering way. I think that line, that quote, is an example of it. I think the movie, like, I think that line, I thought the movie was trying, like, I thought the line was an argument in her favor, and I think the movie, like, I mean, the line obviously was. She was using it as a defense for herself, but I think the movie was agreeing with that line to an extent, and I think because it was also something that was also supposed to be something that empowered Sam. Supposed to be, do what you're, at the end of the day, follow your heart. You don't owe your parents, you don't owe your family, you don't owe anybody your life. And I fundamentally disagree with that. And that's a deep and serious like topic, but yeah, like I personally which I guess, yeah, I don't need to get too much into it, but like, bottom line, I thought that was interesting. Like, the movie, I think, plays both of those sides of portraying this parent, both empowering her creativity, her artistry, and her independence, and also kind of telling us and showing us in some cases, the consequences of her selfishness, or however you want to call it. And I think, even in a way, going to Sammy, I think the movie, even though I feel ultimately the movie is trying to ultimately say, like, what that line says, follow your heart, don't owe anybody your life, I still think the movie doesn't give us the perfect happy ending in that sense. Like, it doesn't say, like, what Boris said is the way to go. Like,
it doesn't give us an ending.
always prioritize your art over your family, or always in spite of your family, or whatever. And again, I don't. That's not to say that Sammy was always doing things in spite of his family or anything like that. But I think the movie, like, I appreciate the film for being. I don't think the movie like hammers only on one point and kind of ignores the alternative perspective in that regard. And I think the mother's sort of another case of that as well. But yeah, that was a impactful line for me.
Well said. Lauren, what's your pick?
I think it was when like the whole thing came to a head where he had been ignoring his mother because she was, he knew she was having an affair.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she's like, something like,
like you haven't been respecting me or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then she slapped him, and then he finally shows her why, he's been doing what he's doing. And just like when she crawls out of the closet, it was so visceral to me, like, so, and I just thought that must have been so hard to do, and I don't know, it just touched me in some ways. I think I'm very close to my own mother, and I can't imagine what it would be like if I found out she was having an affair, which she did actually have an affair.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Basically I'm Spielberg.
No big deal. No big deal.
I thought it was interesting or noteworthy too that he went to the effort to actually splice together all of the footage of her and Benny, almost as if he was just waiting for the moment to show her. Because like that actually, well, obviously we see it in the movie. It takes a lot of time and effort to isolate the shots and to like put them onto the thing and then grab the tape and then so just the fact that he had it sitting there and waiting, I just thought was interesting.
It's another way that he spoke through film, right? Like that's what we're supposed to take away from that, I assume. I mean, like there's a lot of times where he's like, I can't say this. And same thing with the high school thing, right? Like here's this jerk. Here's this guy that I need to not want to beat my butt. And so I'm gonna make him look cool. And like, this is how I'm gonna get even because I don't really know how to get even. I can't lie to this girl. Like I thought it was very touching. I also thought what was very telling, and this was something, Alex, that I thought about after I watched the movie, not during the movie, just to clarify when I came up with this.
All right, as long as we establish that, you weren't immediately interpreting it in this cockamamie way that you're about to tell us.
I thought it was very telling that during the camping scene, she was just out there dancing, right? She was just dancing.
Yeah.
The dad goes, go turn on the lights, right? Go turn on those headlights. Therefore, showing her for everybody to see, right? Yeah. Like you couldn't see through her gown. And that scene was terribly uncomfortable, in my opinion. Like she was like nude in front of her whole family. Yeah. The daughter running around and trying to cover people's eyes. I almost cried during that scene. That was very like just like jarring. Like the girl's like, I don't like this. I'm telling you I don't like this. Somebody stop this. Like he stopped. And they didn't. Nobody did. And matter of fact, he turns the camera on because both of the men there, both of the male models there are saying, we are watching this. This is what we're watching. Like it was that whole scene was like, that was bordering on like uncomfortable, like I don't know why this is popping into my head right now. It's highly inaccurate, but like 1 hour photo uncomfortable. Like,
interesting.
Why is this uncomfortable? I don't know, but it really is. And
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm like she, like, and I'm not someone that's uncomfortable with nudity. It had nothing to do with that. It was the fact that the children didn't want it to be happening.
Oh, okay. Because the mother certainly had no issues with what was happening.
No, and I have no problem with a woman being like that. It's the fact that the children were terribly uncomfortable, and the way that he dealt with it was with a camera.
Well, the one girl,
the sis, no, he was uncomfortable with it too. He
Who?
deals with things
Who?
by putting it. Sammy.
Hmm.
He deals with things by getting behind a camera.
Oh, that's true. And he even said he was like,
Benny
"There's not
tells
enough
him-
light."
Benny says you should be filming this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the order of events is, from what I recall, is like the mother starts dancing, and then somebody says you should be filming this, and then Sammy nonchalantly is like, there's not enough light. Then Benny runs up to the car and turns on the headlights.
Oh, does he turn them on? I thought the dad
Benny
told
does.
him to turn
No,
them on. Oh.
no, I don't think.
I think the dad
Benny just runs up.
I think the dad says turn it on, but maybe Benny actually does it.
Yeah, because I remember Benny actually doing it.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody saying turn them on, but maybe they do.
Either way, the men make it known that this is what they're watching. The kids, they're obviously uncomfortable. The girl makes it very known. But
yeah, well, how does Sammy seem uncomfortable? Because I didn't get that at all. Like, he was just filming. What about it? The scene? Yeah.
That was the vibe I got. Was that he wasn't. He was. I thought him being like, I can't.
So you thought even before it, you thought like his initial like kind of vibe was like, this is kind of weird or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't know how to feel during that scene because I wasn't uncomfortable with it. But I think just because that's one of the images that's like front and center on the poster, I knew that scene was going to happen, and I expected it to be like really emotionally beautiful, and I wasn't getting that either. I was just kind of neutral. But
I didn't. I also, I mean, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't see the poster, but I guess on the one hand, I unfortunately I thought I didn't get any vibes from Sammy. I just thought Sammy was being kind of matter of fact, like, there's not enough light for me to film this. And once the light came on, it's like, okay, I can film it now. And then that's what I thought. And then the girl's reaction, I personally thought it was just like I was vibing with the dads. I was like, shut up, like, but I mean, but again, and to me, part of that, like, I thought the acting of the girl and the lines were a bit exaggerated. Like, it wasn't, to me personally, it didn't touch me as like a scared or uncomfortable girl. It was just kind of like
this would
women aren't supposed to be naked.
Been a scared and uncomfortable girl.
That makes,
and I'm not like that's totally
exactly.
valid.
I know, and that's what I mean. Like, this movie's full of little moments where, like, if you've lived it, right? Not that moment. I've never had my mother dance half naked in front of me, but if you've been that scared and uncomfortable child that just wants to scream, stop it, stop it, stop it. You're like, And
so then, do you think Spielberg's perspective was for it to be an uncomfortable moment, or for it to be a nice moment? Because now I feel like now that you've given me that perspective, Jeanette, I can't not feel uncomfortable with it, especially since, like you said, like, the adult men are the ones who are like, no, film her, objectify.
I think that again, good art, you should take away what it makes you feel, right? Like, a song can make somebody conjure a million different images in their head. So I think that the fact that maybe all of us, maybe 2 to 2, had a different feeling during that scene speaks more volumes about it than one of us not feeling the same way as the other.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, it is interesting because I also kind of like Matt too. Like, when I was watching the scene, and just because it's a pretty lengthy scene, that kind of a big chunk of it is kind of strictly focusing. Like, there's the beginning of it shows us the dynamics of the girl running around and the men doing their thing, but a lot of the scene towards the end is just focused on the mother and her movements. And that, to me, I was like, I think I interpreted that as just telling us something about her character, like, basically just enforcing this performative element of her. Like, I think that's where my mind went. I just kind of like saw it as this performer who, because I think that's like, it wasn't as deeper than that. It was just like, oh, she likes to do stuff in front of people, but the value of it, like, why did she do it? What's the meaning of the dancing? Was she supposed to be communicating something? What were the other characters experiencing? Like, I kind of interpreted it as, and again, my perspective, I just thought that, like, I didn't necessarily see like I didn't see I don't know, like I didn't see the men like enjoying the sexuality of it personally. Like I didn't.
It doesn't have to be, yeah, it doesn't have to be like, and that's what I mean. This movie was very tasteful, but I'm just saying, like, the nod of the scene of Sammy having to hide behind the camera, and
of course,
and you're right, like people did suggest, they did say you should be filming this, so like maybe that doesn't pay off there.
Yeah,
but I did get the encouragement that the children were just kind of in general very discomforted.
And certainly once it started, there was that like very like the men were just pushing off the girl and being like they weren't even saying, like they weren't even talking to her in that moment. They were, I think both the father and Benny just physically
there's just two long scenes of them both staring at
yeah.
No, I think like I would need to revisit it. The missing piece for me right now in remembering it is what the mom, like what her perspective is, like how aware she is that she's being filmed, and if she cares, or if she's just dancing, or if she's in a headspace where she doesn't have the awareness of being able to have an opinion or to say no.
She had a smile on her face. I remember like relatively clearly that the end of that scene is like a close up on her face, and she has this like.
But like we were discussing earlier,
attention is on her, right?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, like in sort of to reaffirm that like she's a performer and she's just getting a performance, So she had to me this almost like like the performer smile of, regardless of what the reality is, regardless of how I feel on the inside, the show must go on. The smile, the mask must stay up.
Right. And she enjoyed seeing herself when they. Rolled back.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. When he shows her the movie, the collage of her, which I guess incorporated. Oh yeah, it showed her dancing with the fire, which I don't remember her doing when we saw her. I don't remember there being a fire stick.
Off camera though.
I guess.
They were there for a few nights.
Maybe it's reinforcing the selfishness aspect, because she can hear her daughter screaming that she doesn't like it either. And she just keeps going.
Yeah.
And likes it whenever she watches it back on film.
But I think it also takes a different perspective if, like, we discuss the possibility of her having maybe a drinking problem. Like, if she is, like...
Or, like, if she's somehow insane.
Or she's just not, like, fully there mentally. That's almost like she's
maybe they don't address it in the movie, because maybe he doesn't want to make it look like a drug thing. But, like, at the time, lithium was a big cure for depression and anxiety, so like she could have been a lithium doll for all.
Yeah.
Ooh, so much to say just about Michelle Williams dancing in front of headlights. Well done, Spielberg. Well done. All right, let's go to the game.
Game time.
Oh, I didn't come up with a bonus question.
I love that we have a game for Fabelmans. I can't wait to see.
I know.
Do we have to hum the score? Don't make us hum the score.
I actually thought about that. I thought about having you hum Spielberg.
The score?
No. It just, since this is the Steven Spielberg movie, this is the Steven Spielberg game. So I'm going to name a movie, and you just have to tell me if he directed it or not.
Oh.
If he didn't direct it, you can get a bonus point by telling me who did direct it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Okay, hold on.
So we can just do directed or not directed.
Yeah, just yes or no. So yeah, have something to write on. Oh, but if it's a no, and if you know who the director actually is, write that down too. Okay, and let me figure out a bonus question.
Bonus question.
Bonus question.
Wonderful. I'm going to say harmonizing, but I know that's the wrong word.
It's unison.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, well, I'll come up with a bonus question at the end of the game. Okay, here we go. Did he direct it? First movie. Wait, do I have 10? Yes, I do. Okay. Minority Report.
No,
you have to write it down, Alex.
All right.
Okay.
But I can't remember who it was.
Did Spielberg direct Minority Report?
Okay.
Ready? And answers in 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God.
He did
Mine
direct
says yes.
it.
Mine
Ah.
says yes.
I'm sorry, Lauren. I failed you.
I don't know why mine zoomed in all of a sudden.
I know. I was
Sorry.
shocked too. Apparently, there it is.
That's a good movie. I
Oh,
need to
look
watch
here.
that.
I can scroll.
Yeah,
It
that is
says
good.
yes. It says it on there. We'll go back.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay.
In what
Next.
language?
I know.
Okay, from now on, all the good movies, I'm going to say yes.
Back to the Future.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh wait. We have
He's so flustered. He's like,
Answers in
God.
wait. I'm writing
yeah,
down
give me
the
one
director.
sec.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to add the director after? No, you got to give us a little bit of time here.
Okay,
I think I'm wrong about this, but
I think
Okay.
I got it. I think I got
okay.
it.
Okay.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
why do you keep flipping?
All right, ready?
Hold on.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait, it won't stop flipping.
And it was
There it is. Okay.
All right. So you all got it for no. Lauren gets an extra point because it
He
was in
gets-
fact
yeah,
Robert
it was
Zemeckis.
Zemeckis.
yes.
Yeah. I said Chris
Very
Columbus.
good.
Dang.
Chris Columbus wishes he could direct Back to the Future.
Yeah,
All right.
that's,
Duel.
Oh, is
not
that
the
recent
last
one?
duel. Not the last
Oh.
duel.
Not the
right?
last duel.
Okay.
No. Just Duel. DUEL.
Love that movie.
Okay,
Dang.
got it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. We're gonna be cheeky monkey.
Cheeky monkey.
No.
I needed to laugh. All right. Answers in 3, 2, 1. Yes. He did direct Duel.
Yeah, that was like
It's one of his first
earlier
movies. It's
So
essentially,
that makes sense.
yeah, it's basically Jaws, but with trucks, with a truck.
yeah.
Oh, like Maximum Overdrive?
Sure. I haven't seen that.
Or Crash.
That's a Stephen King book.
Ooh, I do love Steven.
It's not because the book isn't called Maximum Overdrive. Forget what I think it's literally just called like Trucks or something. It's a short story, but it's about 18-wheelers and like every mechanical thing coming to life and just killing the human race.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
but
I
nothing
hate
comes
that.
to life. It's like a psychotic
Driver.
The way you said trucks, I pictured a Pixar movie, but like by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Trucks. Okay, next. 1941.
Okay.
Oh,
No. I don't know. This is the
who
bad
directed Saving Private Ryan?
Well, that's a movie that's not 1941.
No, I know, but
Yeah, but no, it doesn't matter. Okay,
It's
Answer.
That's the movie. That's not.
answers in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
He did direct 1941.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Well, so far he
That's what
directed
he's
I
everything.
remember.
No, he didn't. He didn't
I
direct
know.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, I know, except for one.
Okay, next. Poltergeist.
Oh, I wish. Oh
Wait a
my
minute.
gosh.
Wait a minute.
They're here.
Why do I feel like this is a trick question?
This is the last time.
Is there
I'm
such
gonna
thing
do
as
this.
ghost directing?
Sure
Oh,
there is.
shit. There's yeah.
It's
Oh,
called
wait.
producing.
I was like, wait, yeah. Yeah.
Right. Answers, please. In 3, 2, 1. He did not direct Poltergeist.
Oh,
Shit, is there a name?
Who is
Do we have
it?
a
Who
name
is
for
it?
that?
Tobe Hopper.
I knew that.
Tobe Hooper? No, that he did the new one.
I
That's not the
remember.
original.
No,
he
he
wasn't
did- I
even
think he did
old
the
enough
original.
to direct the original. Stop
I think
it.
he did
Come
the
on.
original.
Really?
Let me check.
Am I crazy?
No,
Let me check.
He's right. He's right. Because it popped in my head for a minute, and that's it.
Yeah,
I said,
he directed the
no.
original.
Really?
I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
Who is he?
Tobe
He
Hooper.
did,
Director.
yeah, he did the newer version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I
Oh.
believe.
Now we know.
And then something else too that I'm not recalling right now, but he's a horror director. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know he
that's
did
why I
the
don't know who he
original.
is. Yeah, he did the
Wow.
original.
Wow.
Next, the Flintstones.
He was born in 43,
The
apparently.
live action one with John Goodman and Rosie O'Donnell. The Flintstones.
Why does this feel like a trick question?
The Flintstones?
Yeah, the original live action.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a classic. I love the Flintstones.
It's a classic.
I do too, and I feel like I know this, but now I'm questioning my own sanity.
The movie where the B-52s play the BC-52s.
No, it's Chris Columbus. No.
All right, everyone have their answers.
Of course.
3, 2, 1. He did not direct the Flintstones.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like I know that.
He produced it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, basically, all the movies that he didn't direct, he produced. I had to pick movies that were kind of in the like the Spielberg bubble.
Yeah,
But no, it was directed by some guy named Brian Levant.
Oh, I've never gotten that.
Yeah. All right. Next.
If one of us got that, you'd have to accuse us of cheating.
I would.
No, it was directed by Brian Levant.
I mean, I was shocked that you knew who Tobe Hooper.
Oh yeah,
was.
he's a horror guy.
But
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. That's why I don't know who he is. Back to the Future, Part 3. 3. The Western.
There's only one man for the job. And he does not share power.
What? Okay. Answers, please. In 3, 2, 1. He did not direct it.
I wrote Zemeckis, but I don't think it's actually Zemeckis either.
It was Zemeckis.
Oh, I got it.
He did all 3 of them. Yeah,
I thought.
I gave both of you the Zemeckis point. Very good, very good. Okay.
Yay!
Next, The Twilight Zone, the movie.
Oh, God, this is gonna kill me. I should know this. Oh, dang it! I'm gonna get this wrong.
So are you Googling it?
No, I'm looking at what your mom's saying.
Oh.
But I'm not changing my answers based
This
on
was
it.
my
I'm just
favorite. Don't shout out answers, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that one yet. But
All right, answers, please. In 3, 2, 1. Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, that one I definitely remember.
He directed the most
I love that movie. I forgot.
forgettable
Me
sequence.
too. I love that.
Oh,
movie.
he had a part in it. That's why. I was like, he didn't do the whole thing, did he?
Yeah, no. He did the sequence with the old people becoming young. I think that was him.
What are you talking about? The most forgettable? That's
I didn't-
Cocoon, anyway.
No,
What? I love that sequence.
No, it's not. The only good one is John Lithgow on the plane.
The plane.
Yeah.
The rabbit in the living room. The magic.
Oh, actually,
oh my
The
God.
cartoon
That thing.
world. That one.
That
was-
one-
are we talking about Donnie Darko?
Dan
Yes.
Aykroyd.
No, the Twilight Zone movie with the freaking giant gnarly. Oh God,
Yeah.
that thing still gives me nightmares.
And the first sequence just ends abruptly, but then I later found out it's because people died, which is tragic and terrible. So that's the thing that happened. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, Nikes. I'm gonna show my true colors here. This is
Your true colors.
why do I feel like this one is?
See your true colors.
God, we had to sing that in school.
Don't be afraid.
Oh, why is it doing this to me? Dang it.
All right, answers please. In 3, 2, 1.
I think it was Zemeckis.
That's what I said too. Yeah,
Correct.
Zemeckis.
Yay!
Yeah, I thought that too.
Alex,
It's on my page,
Alex, I'll give you
Alex.
the point. I'll give you the point, Alex, if you can tell me that director's name again right now.
Just Zemeckis.
What's his first name?
First name.
Robert.
Is it written on your wall?
No. I'm looking up and to the left. As
Just
per.
He has a Roger Rabbit poster right there. You just don't know.
Okay, well, you got an extra point, Alex, because it helps. All right, final regular question before I figure out what the bonus question is. The Post.
Oh, easy. No contest.
Have you heard of the post, Alex? Has anyone here heard of or seen the post?
I've heard of it, and I remember it was like, what, 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh, I saw it too in theaters. I fell asleep.
Oh, I just showed my answer. Sorry.
Answers in 3, 2, 1. He did direct the post.
Shit! I copied Jeanette's answer. I had yes originally.
Wait, this is the one about.
Yeah, The Post is the movie with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, and she runs a newspaper, and they're like, we can't say bad things about Nixon because he's Donald Trump, and that's a subtext. And yeah, yeah, it was okay. I think Spielberg made it like at the last minute because he just really wanted to comment on Trump, so he just called Meryl and Tom and essentially said, "Yeah, let's just make a movie." And they did, and it feels like a movie that was made just because. All right. The points are as follows. Jeanette has 10, Lauren has 9, Alex has 5. How many points would we like to wager for the final bonus question?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, I'm doing all of them.
Alex?
He's still not going to get all
4 points.
Very good, very good. Okay. Of all the movies that I mentioned in this game, which one was the earliest? In his career?
I know that one.
That's not a good one.
Okay.
It's not a good question.
It just necessitates that you've been paying attention, Alex. Like Robert Zemeckis.
Well, I feel like we made a big deal out of it, is all.
All right, answers, please. In 3, 2, 1. Duel is correct. Oh, I thought that was going to be a hard one. Jeanette won. Yay.
Yay.
All right. Yay.
All right. Good job. All right, friends. Any closing thoughts on the Fabelmans? Any conversational points you want to touch on before we sign off?
I don't think it's as boring as everybody says it is.
I didn't realize it had a reputation for being boring.
I didn't think it was boring at all.
That was what I heard going into it.
I will say there were certain points where I was feeling the length, but then certain points when it was just moving really quickly and I found it super engaging. I was annoyed and almost angry when it just ended the way it did.
Yes, can we say that? I'll second that. The ending was a little non-satisfactory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
wasn't the best.
Like, what?
Yeah, he's literally skipping into the sunset, and I was like, really?
Yeah. Well, I was sitting there thinking, oh, make the next shot a horizon shot. And I thought, I want you to defy John Ford, David Lynch, and put the horizon in the middle. And he did, but then it's just like, whoa, and then the movie's over. Yeah. Spielberg.
Well, no,
like, that was my reaction. Yeah.
You know, we were trying to figure out what the Fabelmans meant, like, because I had
the word.
What it meant, like, going into it, but I didn't realize, like, Tony Kushner was doing a play off of Spielberg, because Spiel is like telling a story, Fabelmans Berg.
Yeah, I thought when I realized while watching the movie that it was their last name, it felt a little too on the nose for my personal taste, because I thought it was just a fun conceptual idea of like a family of storytellers, those who tell fables, the Fabelmans, and then it turns out, that's just their last name.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get.
I also didn't get the Bagelmans thing at all. I was like, this guy is uncreative, and I don't understand how more than one person would catch on to this at all.
It was a stretch.
Stupid.
Is Fabelman an actual last name?
Oh, I think everything's a last name somewhere.
I mean, apparently it's enough that when you hear it, you think of it's a
Jewish. That was the thing when he said Fabelman. Aha, you're Jewish. I thought, is this common
I know,
knowledge?
I
Not
just don't have?
obviously. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my thing with like I would never have said to myself that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I
We
just
also aren't
tried
growing
it.
up in the 60s, so
That's true.
Yeah, that is.
you
That's
know.
what I was thinking. Is that like nowadays you don't try to make that kind of assumption, but
No.
maybe back then they did. I mean, they did. And I know
They did. Yeah. Fun. Well, I'm excited to discuss more movies with you next week. What is next week?
Yeah, what is next week?
What is
next
next
Yeah.
week? Let's find out.
What is next week?
Yeah, what is next week?
Pinocchio? Is next week Pinocchio?
Is next week Pinocchio?
No, I could be lying.
No,
Don't
it's
look-
Elvis. Next week's Elvis.
Oh, I've already watched that one. I guess I'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much. Yeah, it'll be interesting to compare one of the best performances of the year to one of the worst performances of all time in a movie. So I'm excited for that discussion.
Worst performances.
Wait, what did you just say?
Ooh.
I said I'm excited to discuss one of the best performances of the year up and in the same movie as one of the worst performances of all time.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Wait,
coming
wait,
for
wait.
I'm coming
But
for
I
Tom
know he's a-
Hanks.
I know he's coming for
Oh.
Hanksy.
Yeah, Tom.
I think you better come for that makeup artist first. I'm just saying.
Coming for the accent. I'm coming for, you know what? Tom Hanks just, he's done. I'm done with Tom.
Oh,
I like-
Dad.
He
He's our
made some
dad.
fantastic
America's
movies,
Dad.
and
Okay.
now it's time for him to retire or to start putting effort into his performances.
I want my Forrest Gump sequel first.
Run, Forrest! Imagine he's still running. It's just
Yeah,
Forrest still
it's still
running.
running.
I just
Yes.
want more Forrest Gump. That's
I mean,
all.
one
Or
day we
David
have
S.
to do
Pumpkins.
Forrest
I'll
Gump.
take more David S. Pumpkins.
It's David S. Pumpkins, a classic. All right. Closing thoughts, everyone. Time to sign off. Tell everyone where we can find you, all that fun stuff, and anything else that you want to say about the movie. We'll start with Lauren.
all right. Well, I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. And coming up, what do I have? I'm reaching the end of my From Zero to 60 series, where I looked at the films of Walt Disney Animation Studios in chronological order. So I should be ending that soon, and I'm going to start with Pixar after that. And closing thoughts. I don't know. I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a good film, but I don't think it should win Best Picture.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The end. Thank you, Lauren. See you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Hello. So I am Tinker J. You can find me here on Wednesdays on Teacup for One. You can also find me at We Like Theme Parks on Thursdays on the Chip and Co podcast network. So you can check us out over there. And coming up, I'm gonna be here again. Oscar season is I'm living. I love it. So I'm watching as many movies as I can. I'm gonna watch ones we're not even covering. I want to see Tar because I love Kate Blanchett. So and I've already seen Elvis, so maybe I'll spend next week watching Tar.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jeanette. See you next week.
Yeah, closing thoughts. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Little nitpicks here and there. I think I'm excited. The ending left me excited for more. And it also kind of, I think it's an interesting challenge or thought. Kind of think of like what the overall point of the movie was. And I think there's lots of contenders, and yeah, that's another discussion as well potentially. But anyway, good movie. Check it out. Didn't think it was boring. You can find me in my room, but the door's locked, so don't come in. But I'm in my room, so that's where I'll be. Also here, Teacup for One.
And if you're watching this channel, my name is Matt and I have 2 Degrees. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Teacup for One Oscar Movie Marathon. As I said, next week we are going to be back and we are going to be discussing Elvis. And we're just here every Wednesday up until Oscar night. So join us, discuss the movies. Can't wait. Until then, friends, my name is Matt and I have 2 Degrees. And this has been the Teacup for One. How do you end this?